setting. Noise reduction, all settings. Live stream.
We are live on YouTube.
Hide watermark, public chat, 1080p. There is a place to turn this stupid setting. Live call quality. Raise hand, studio. Okay.
I'm learning a whole bunch of new things about Riverside today. This is very nice.
What are you learning about Riverside?
That it could do a little pop-up for me. So if I wanted to jump onto a page and look at something, I can do that and still know what y'all are up to.
Oh, yeah. Like it drops it over to the corner. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a bunch of issues with Riverside. Here's what I've decided. So now that I work at that, oh no, we're live. I can't I can't say anything. I was just gonna say I want to build a better version. We'll put it that way. I don't have permission to do any of that, but like I want to build a better version. How's everyone doing? Wait, let's go over to the chat room, say hi to the chatters. Hello, everyone.
What up, chat?
I wonder what happens if I show it shows the alien icon. That's pretty cool. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone's doing fantastic in their 2026. Hello, Damien. So we're kind of pre-show right now. We got a couple minutes. We're waiting on Dada. Dada's going to need a moment. He might be a little bit late. But yeah. How was everyone's go around the room? Ryan, how was your 2026? How was your Christmas and your New Year's? I can't.
It would help if I. It would help if I, don't have the mute turned on, and then you can actually hear me. Swiftly moving on. Oh, it was brilliant. I felt the freedom. The freedom was flowing. There was so much freedom. You can believe it. Yeah, it was just simply.
Were you
so much freedom.
you were in the United States then? I assume.
Yes, I was. For Christmas.
That makes sense. That's why you can feel all the. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. What brought you to the U.S.? Were you here for visiting family? Were you doing launch coverage?
Yeah, we were visiting family, so we were in various locations throughout Louisiana over the span of about 2.5 weeks. So yeah.
Oh, I had no idea you had family in Louisiana. John, I know how your Christmas was because we already talked about this, but how was your Christmas?
Oh, busy. I work Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day. I just don't stop.
Boxing Day for you is Black Friday, right? Black Friday for us, same thing.
It's a bank holiday here, so national holiday.
But it's the Friday. It's the Friday after our.
It's the day after Christmas Day.
Or day after Christmas Day.
Yeah, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas Day.
Okay. For us, it's Black Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving. Jared Head, how was your New Year?
Jamie Higginbotham. My quiet Christmas, which was nice, just with family, and then my New Year, rang it in with friends, and then enjoyed New Year's Day at Griffith. So made that money, time and a half plus holiday pay. Yeehaw, baby!
Yeehaw, baby!
So it was good. Thank you, taxpayers.
How about you,
of Los
chat room?
Angeles.
Chat room, drop it in the chat. How was your holiday? Let us know. We'll read some of them out on air. We're waiting. So just so everyone knows, we're waiting for Dada. Dada's attending to a little kidlet who ran into an issue, so he might need a moment here. Let me just go back and check and see. Hopefully it's not. Boo. Yeah, so he's making jokes, so I'm sure it's fine. I'm on a new camera. I'm on a Pixis 6K. One of the things that I have not figured out how to do is have a lookup table, a LUT, applied on the webcam output of the Pixis And so I'm applying that LUT through OBS. And so I think both Ryan and I are using the OBS virtual webcam driver to drive the video. I'm not sure.
I
Pretty
mean,
sure
it
you
is.
use the
It's
OBS.
the best. There's nothing beats
I'm
OBS. It
using it
is
as well.
the goat. Everyone uses OBS. It cannot fail. Literally never fails. It's 100% reliable.
Literally. Also, Ryan, I'm always amazed at you're never sarcastic ever.
No,
I
100%
need to teach
serious
you what
100% of the time.
I need to teach you what sarcasm is. Yeah. So I was, I like to stay up on all of the things, right? So, we tried EV Mux. We're on Riverside right now. I'm sure I'll move us to StreamYard at some point. Is part of this is, Ryan laughs, but he knows it's true. Well, actually, Ryan was there when I was testing StreamYard in advance, and he watched me swear at StreamYard a whole lot, being like, "What are you guys doing and why?" Listen, we can complain about these other platforms, but oh my God, was StreamYard bad. It was so bad. I don't know why anyone likes it. Maybe it's gotten better, so I'll try it again. And that's my thing, is like I use this show as a way to keep abreast on technology and whatnot. I've got in the office over yonder, which you guys can't see on camera, I've got a little ATEM Mini ISO G2. And so I've got some decoders. So I'm wondering, hey, can I maybe rebuild a new studio? And what we'll do is in After Dark, we'll talk about watches. And I want to talk about, I've actually been researching studio spaces in Orlando. So I may have found something. I don't know yet. Also, I'm not in a financial position right now. I made bad financial choices yesterday. I can't make more bad financial choices. We'll talk about all that
Jamie,
in After
that's
Dark.
gonna be honest, that's a hell of a commute for some of us. So
Orlando, yeah.
Yeah.
Just fly in every Saturday,
You're
Sunday. It'll be
complaining.
fine.
You're
It'll be
complaining.
fine.
Well, I'm speaking on behalf of all of us here. So come on.
Yeah.
I could give Ryan a lift.
Well, I think so. Part of it is I want to make it so I would love to bring back interviews. I think that'd be fun. Having a place on the Space Coast, a studio on the Space Coast, excuse me, I think might be easier to bring in some high profile clients, because I think they're probably, a lot of them are either already here or will be traveling here from time to time. And so, I mean, I would have been like, oh, let's bring on Tori Bruno, but now he works for Blue, which means he can't talk to anyone ever again at all, ever. Right? That's how you go into the black hole that is Blue.
Yeah.
He's being duct taped.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe not, right? Like it might not be a thing, but like it'd be cool to build out, like if you guys remember how the studio looked with like the screens and whatnot, and have everyone kind of in a virtual environment that we could bounce between. I don't know. It might be stupid. It might be a giant waste of money, but I really loved having the studio in the old show. It was really great. For those who don't know, we were required, they knocked the building down, basically. Not basically, like that's exactly what they did. So they didn't renew anyone's lease. And so when our lease was up, they're like, you got to get out. They raised the building to the ground, and they're building something else there, or have built something else there. Next time I'm in California, I'll drive over there, see what it looks like. But like, yeah, womp womp. Oh yeah, I remember Space Mike mastered the ability for when someone was talking, he would be able to like look to wherever it was happening, right? Like it was crazy how good Space Mike was at this.
Yeah.
Let's get a check-in on data.
Try doing that in Riverside.
Yeah, especially so there's so many gripes on Riverside. I think my biggest gripe is what we as hosts see are not necessarily what you at home see, right? So I don't know how it looks for everyone, but for me, Jared is here, Ryan is here, John is here, and I'm in the lower right-hand corner. But
I'm the only one in the right position for you.
Really? Oh, well. Actually, let's see. Let me go to, I want to see what you guys see on YouTube. I'm going to regret this in a moment.
I've got exactly the same view as I've got on YouTube.
Oh, no. So YouTube matches my view. What I see is exactly what's on YouTube right now.
But you
Anyhow.
said
Ryan is in the
Jared
top
was
left.
outside of you.
You are above me. Jared is in the bottom left, and I am in the bottom right. Let's see here. Do we have any Happy New Year's? Glad you guys are back. We're cutting all of this from the real show, by the way. Samurai, Happy New Year. And oh my God, I'm actually here for live for once. Everybody show up just to hear everyone say goodbye. I'm glad you can make it. And that's our show. Thank you so much for watching.
Now for 2 hours of After Dark.
Oh, that sucks. Car wouldn't start on your birthday, which was a few days before New Year's, and then like dealing with all of that. It sounds like you're still just dealing with all of that, which sucks.
Oh.
Aravale, happy 2026. Absolutely, happy 2026. Is Dud still finding MDF dust? that
We
site,
all are.
You know, they raised it to the ground, and there's still somehow when they build new will be MDF dust everywhere.
Even Ryan has MDF dust on him.
Yeah. There was so much MDF dust. Also, I think, Jared, did you bleed on the set?
Yes.
Okay, I
Yes,
know
I
Dada
did.
did, and I did too. So I think everyone who helped build the set bled on the set. Not like, oh, let's let some blood out, but like as we were building it, like you would swear, and then like you're covering your wound and running to grab a towel.
Yeah. I had a
Someone
nail
got a
from
good
nail
gash.
gun.
Was it you?
I think it was me. I had the nail shot from a nail gun shot into my middle finger right here. So
yeah, that was you. And then
That
there was
hurt a
another
lot.
sketchy moment. I bet there was another sketchy moment where the top of the set was drooping in the middle because there wasn't enough support, right? Oh, yeah,
I remember
Jared,
that.
you were here for that.
Yeah.
And so we needed to attach the top of the set to like the actual like beams in the ceiling to hold that part of the set up. But like the ladder wasn't quite long enough. And so you had to do some sketchy stuff of like standing on the top of the ladder while like hammering in. And I'm like, all right, well, and the whole ladder's like shaking back and forth and just everything wants to fall. It was like, it was bad. And so I forced everyone, I'm like, all right, you guys do me a favor, do your best to like hold the ladder, but I'm not going to make you guys do this. And so I went up there and did it myself. And I'm just hammering this thing in, just desperately trying to hold my balance, which was really, really hard. The nail did not end up going all the way through because it was like, I mean, it was like this thick, right? It was
This
crazy.
is a big one.
But we got it. Well, nails, it wasn't a singular nail, but we got enough gription where we're like, it's good enough. And then, yeah. And then the whole middle part of that set where the big window in the middle was being held up by a couple of 2x4s that you couldn't see that were like bracing the top of it. And if those fell, the whole middle section of the set was going to fall probably. It was at a minimum going to droop.
Yeah. Basically, any earthquake that would happen in the area, regardless of size, it was going to bring down. It would have been the first space station deorbit via earthquake. So it would have been bad.
All right. Should we call it? Like I haven't seen Dada might be dealing with children for a hot minute. Do we want to just get into the show? No one's answering.
Sorry.
No, yes. John, do you want to be part of the? Do you want to take? Hey, John, you want to take Dada's place? You can say no.
I don't think I can do the one-liners and stuff. No, I don't think I could stand up. I can't compare to Dada. He's too good.
Yeah, you don't have to. If you want to jump into producer mode, that's totally cool.
Yeah, I'll jump into producer mode because I can do a bit more back there.
Sounds
That's
great.
what I'm used to.
See you in a bit. It's
See you
what
in a
I'm
bit.
used to.
Have a great show, everyone.
Yep. Bye. For those who don't know, John is our producer, and now what's going to happen is he's going to jump off. You're going to lose the ability to see him, and then He's going to pop back onto our screens, and we can see and hear him just like you can right now, but you can't. And so you'll sometimes like he'll be like he'll say something to us, but like we're not trained talent, so we'll just all kind of stop and listen to what he's saying. Or instead of giving us like a rap, like singular word, rap 510, he'll give us like 2 paragraphs in our ears. Also, I'm proud of Ryan Caton's subtitle today, which is holding in all his emotions. He is British, which I think is his default state.
I appreciate mine.
Whoa, God.
Good one.
Do this. Is this better? All right. Zach is back in our ears. Do you want to take control of the show? See if you can do switching, John? By the way, out of curiosity, team, how late is too late to have a Christmas tree still up?
don't know.
Like January 1st.
Oh, no. My computer's not charging. Hang on. Stand by. Hold. Why is this not charging?
I don't know. I don't have a Christmas tree, so I wish I had the ability to speak towards.
My computer is like throwing low power warnings. I'm like, how in the world? It's plugged in. What the hell? Here I thought we were going to start.
It's okay. Take your time.
Well, it made the bing noise. Okay, now it's got a charging icon. Take your time. We're only 12 minutes over. Normal broadcast, this is what happens. The same thing in rocket launches. Like, oh, you're running 12 minutes late? Nah, no problem. Just launch the rocket 12 minutes late. Not an issue.
Yep.
We'll take the hold.
All right, kids. So, by the way, let's do some. Oh, just in time. We were just about to start, Dada. I was holding the show for you, but I assume it was a kidlet.
No, it's
Was
me.
it you? Oh God.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah. It's dry. I've been sick. I blew my nose.
It has been very dry.
Is that a new C3PO behind you?
It's not new, but it is C3PO, yes.
Is that okay?
And I've got Chewbacca right here. And I've got R2 right there.
Oh, I don't think I've ever actually noticed. All right. So we haven't done pre-pro. So now that you're here, why don't we do pre-pro? So Dada, instead of doing what we should have been doing, namely our jobs, we were just shooting the shit with everyone. And yeah.
Hey, that's how it goes.
Terrible idea. Yeah, that's how it goes. So do we want to hang on, sorry, stand by. Cool. My thoughts were we were going to talk about Ryan, can you speak to the medical thing on the space station?
Yes.
Do we want I feel like everyone's covered that. I actually don't think it's that big of a news story, and I'm not super comfortable talking about other people's medical issues. I know that this has made national news, so like who am I to whatever, but like I don't know. Everyone knows about this, yeah?
I think it's notable that it's the first medical emergency in space.
Mm-hmm.
That we know of. Something Soviet Union. Something China too. Yeah, do we want to, should we start with that or finish with that? Or should we use it as a palate cleanser in between? I feel like we finished with that. No, we start with it and only spend like 2 minutes on it.
Yeah, softball.
Yeah, I feel like that. Is that a weak freaking open to the show though? I mean, starting the show with Ryan is going to be weak to begin with. Also, I'm glad he laughed. I'm glad he laughed at that and didn't get angry.
Black screen. Ryan's gone.
Okay, you know, why don't we roll it? Hang on. We'll roll it all together because the medical emergency is happening in 2026, right? So we'll just roll it into part of the 2026 stuff, right?
Bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Isaacman's confirmation.
Yeah. I mean, that happened in 2025, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
The but and a 20. I mean, I think not just as confirmation, but maybe like how Isaacman is going to run NASA through 2026. I think we're just going to roundtable this and just see where the conversation goes organically. But I really think it's going to be talking about like 2026, the missions we're excited about, the parts that we're excited about. Is this the year that Starship becomes right, for lack of a better term? Yeah, right. Is this the year that New Glenn becomes? Right, because like you think they'll launch a dozen times this year? There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Whatever happened to Relativity? Whatever happened to Firefly? Well, Firefly landed on the moon, so I mean, I can't say that. But like, I think there's a lot of really great stuff on the horizon here. So I mean, let's go. We'll just go around in circles and talk about that. If that's all right. I'm gonna move this up here. We'll move data over here.
Maybe for better or worse, Elon Musk is Space's Disney.
Elon Musk is Space's Disney. Well, I don't understand what you mean. So I'll let you say that again when like in the edited part of the show, and then you can explain what I'm not understanding. How about that?
Sure.
All right, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Cool. And welcome to tomorrow. Everyone, if you were watching live, you got a fun, action-packed behind-the-scenes adventure of how we pre-produce these shows, which we don't normally do live. That's another reason you should watch us live every Sunday at, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. What is that? 1800 coordinated time. It's fun, it's interesting, it's unique, and you can have a chance to get your comments in the chat room. I am joined today by a Dutta who is sounding fantastic. You're like sounding great. We've got a Jarrett Head and a Ryan Caton. We're starting off 2026. We had, I think, a pretty great 2025. The last show we did at the end of 2025 was kind of a year in review, so I don't really necessarily want to recap again, but it was a good 2025, right? Like, we've been doing this show since 2008 or something, and there have been some, slow years. There have been some years where it was like, maybe 2 missions throughout the year that you were like, oh, wow, that was really cool, and not much else. 2025 was just like, it was a banger. And frankly, it's starting to look like 2026 is going to be even better than 2025. There's a whole bunch of really great stuff going on. So I figured we kind of go around the room and just talk about what everyone's excited about. And by the way, if you're excited about something in 2026, if you're watching live, leave it in the chat room. We'll bring it up on the chat. We'll roundtable it here. But also, if you're not watching live, go ahead and leave a comment below, and we'll loop back around to that. Excuse me. We'll loop back around to that in a future show. Or we'll I read all those comments as well, and we'll answer it. Like, I'm really excited. I think you guys, you're all space nerds. We're all space nerds. So space nerd out with us. Let's do it. And by the way, feed the algorithm while you're doing that and leaving the comment. Please hit that thumbs up. I know it's stupid. It takes 2 seconds. I know it's dumb. It really does help us. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that fun jazz, all the normal YouTube stuff. Please don't make me beg, but I will beg. I'm not below begging. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Dutta, you just jumped on, so why don't we start with you, Jared? Like, what are you looking forward to in 2026?
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you one thing. In astronomy and astrophysics, we have got a lot of things that are going to be happening this year. So like this morning, we already had the launch of NASA's Pandora mission. This is going to be a small space telescope that's going to look at exoplanet atmospheres. So we're talking like a CubeSat sized space telescope that can do that. So we're really taking these things and miniaturizing them and making them super tiny, which is super great for that to finally be happening. We've also got, I think, something that's kind of come under the radar a little bit, involving a commercial company helping out a NASA mission, where you've got the private company called Catalyst Space Technologies. They're going to be taking essentially their own privately funded tug up to NASA's Swift Observatory and using that to perform a reboost on Swift to keep it up to a higher orbit to keep that mission operating. So that's supposed to be happening in the middle of this year. So that's really exciting to see the possibility of keeping these missions going. In September, hopefully crossing every single thing that we've got, the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is supposed to launch on a Falcon Heavy. That is going to be just a game changer in terms of astronomy and cosmology with the ability that it can do.
Yeah,
So
I've heard this telescope. You've mentioned it before, but forgive me, I've forgotten about it.
yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
Um,
Can you remind what is that telescope?
So the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, it's a infrared space telescope. It's a wide field infrared space telescope. So in other words, to give you an idea of what it's capable of, back in the day, back in the mid 2010s, the Hubble Space Telescope actually did a survey of the Andromeda Galaxy where they were able to resolve individual stars. They did that to check out the population of the stars, see how it compared to here in the Milky Way. Turns out populations are similar, therefore we understand physics throughout the universe works the same everywhere. So
Yay, physics.
Hubble, yeah, the physics, the one and only tonight. And that took hundreds of images for Hubble to do that because they looked at all of Andromeda. The Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is going to be able to do that at a better resolution, and it only would have taken 2 images for it to have done that. So we're talking about speeding up the ability to take in data, get this data back, and get those studies underway. So that's super important, and that's what's so exciting about Nancy Grace Roman.
So
And also,
Aravale
just to
has a
throw-
comment really quick. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Latency.
Oh, I was just
Go
going to
ahead.
throw in that the Nancy Grace Roman is the first of those National Reconnaissance Office donations that happened back in 2012 to fly as well. So we're all very excited to see that that finally getting to look out instead of down.
That's terrifying. So just for those who don't know, someone correct me if I've got this story wrong, but basically, it was around 2010. It was like around 2010 or so, right? The NRO went to NASA and said, "Hey, we've got these old telescopes that we don't need for anything anymore. You guys want them?" And NASA was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." And like they get them, and they're like, "Oh my God, these are like Hubble grade telescopes that have aged out of the NRO," which means that the NRO had like Hubble grade stuff for 1 unit of forever. And like that doesn't, they're just like, and now the NRO is like, this isn't good anymore. And NASA's like, but they're great.
Supposedly these were from the late 80s to early 90s in terms of the technology that the National Reconnaissance Office was using at that time. And they are different from Hubble in that Hubble uses 2 mirrors, a primary and a secondary. But this was a triple mirror system, which allowed a like unbelievable wide field of view, which is what you would need if you're pointing a telescope back down at the ground in order to look at objects that are there and track those objects. So,
or hear me out, they were looking at aliens.
I don't know. They could have turned
they
could have turned their telescope the wrong way. So
this is super nerdy and in the weeds detail, but it would be fascinating to do a cage code and serial number search on all the parts that they got.
If you're allowed.
Well,
I can't believe you wouldn't be able to. It's entered public domain now, right? Because they gave it to NASA.
Cage codes are
give
public.
It to NASA. Yeah,
cage
but
codes are
there
public.
were.
You might get some static trying to track down specific serial numbers where they would either say they don't have that serial number, or that part was never produced, or you just get the phone hung up on you because nobody's supposed to talk about it. But that would be fascinating if you could do that kind of archaeology on the parts that they got from NSA.
I would love that. And
So
I do know there were stipulations. The NRO said that you could do anything you want with these, but you can't do earth science. So or any kind of science that makes you point this at the earth itself. So that was one of the that was legit one of the stipulations of this donation. So
that's pretty epic.
That's
There's
like
also
finding out
a
that your grandfather's binoculars were made in the 40s by somebody else.
There's another classic story, and forgive me, I don't remember the names, but one of the main engineers behind Hubble was like on a panel or something, or like looking at a Hubble image in like a fairly public setting, and they've got this picture of Hubble, and he's like, oh, "That's really cool. Now that one's not mine." Or whatever, like that's not my
Yeah.
Hubble.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, who else has that? Oh. All right. Going back, ROL had a good point. As I understand it, the James Webb Space Telescope isn't actually Hubble's successor. NGR, what Nancy Grace Roman is. But forgive my ignorance. I thought, not to get hung up on this, but I thought J-Dub was an infrared telescope, and you're saying Nancy Grace is an infrared telescope. So how is this? Hubble has multiple instruments on board, right? I believe it can do infrared to a point, visible light. It's got a bunch of different things.
Yes.
What can Nancy Grace do? Is it basically a Hubble replacement? Is it multiple instruments, or is it just infrared?
So essentially it is, so it's visible to near infrared, but the infrared capabilities are what it's likely going to be used the most for, because of the fact that you can cut through dust, you can cut through gas, be able to see objects without having those obscuring clouds in your way, and you can also look a little further back too in infrared as well as compared with visible, but it is still going to be visible light capable. It's considered more the successor of Hubble because the mirror size is exactly the same. It's a 2.4 meter mirror, which is the exact same size that Hubble's is, as opposed to James Webb, which is a 8 meter mirror, which is just gigantic to think about. And also, James Webb is like deep infrared. It is that thing is cold, and some of those instruments are being, temperatures are measured in tens of Kelvin, like super cold. Because if you have an infrared telescope, it needs to be colder than what you want it to look at in order to be able to see it. So that's the hard part of making an infrared telescope, is that you need to keep it cold to actually see what you want. But this should basically pick up right where Hubble's left off, but with that capability to look at fields of view hundreds of times larger than what Hubble can look at. So you could just do these massive surveys and do it in record time.
The difference between those is just the lensing, right?
Lensing and
the wavelength
as well.
No, I mean,
and
difference in
as well.
Difference in field of view is a matter of lensing.
Yeah, well, mirrors, but like obviously, same thing.
Like zoom on a camera lens where you can.
You got the right,
You got Hubble doing this and Nancy Grace Roman doing that.
Yeah, curvature.
I mean, you've got the pickups. You've got the sensor as well, right? So like it's all.
It is the sensors. Yes, 100%.
Because
so what's on Hubble right now is a combination of the 2002 servicing mission and the 2009 servicing mission, and that was the best of 20 years ago, and Hubble's still producing great results with that. But this is like this is the new hotness. So this is all the stuff that is fresh with the best technology. So we're no longer talking about technology from 20 years ago. We're talking about technology from today. And it's been a bit of evolution, as you can imagine, in 20 years of work.
Sack was sharing a picture of NGR earlier, and the hood, it looks cool, right? It's got, I know that's dumb, like how it looks doesn't impact its performance, but it looks like something out of Star Trek. It actually looks pretty cool.
With an infrared based telescope, you have to put those really big shields on it in order to make sure that you can actually keep it cool, because space is a great thing to cool yourself off in. So don't let the sun touch the optics or the instruments, and it will
Sure, but they
it will
didn't need to
reach
make it.
background. So
It just needed to be a shield. They didn't have to make it look cool. They made it look cool too. Like, I think it looks cool. I think it looks cool. And
tell
Lisa
anybody.
asks a question in the chat room that I was going to bring up while we're on this topic, which is, now that Isaac Mann is administrator, do you think he'll push for that the Hubble telescope rescue mission that he proposed a while back? He was going to use one of the Polaris missions, I believe, on a Dragon to go up and effectively boost / fix up the Hubble Space Telescope, because really I think Dragon is the only vehicle that can get there now, right? Well, I guess
Yeah.
Orion could technically, but like, they've proven that you can do spacewalks, right? They've proven you can depress and repress and all that fun jazz. So theoretically, you could get up there, send some astronauts up, and do some servicing missions.
They could.
Yeah,
They
and that
they
would
wanted
be
they
nice.
wanted to they wanted to move Discovery out of the Smithsonian to Texas, so maybe they could do it by way of space.
Yeah. Well, man, we need to talk about that too. Like, that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. Anyhow, I'm curious to see, like, I don't know what Jared's going to want to do. I don't know if, like, now that he's the administrator of NASA, he's got, I mean, I'm sure his docket is pretty full, right? Like, what are the things he's worried about? Is that something he still wants to do? And with a new telescope up there, like, there's a point where it does not make sense to save Hubble anymore. Like, where Hubble is just aged out. It's like, it was cool, it was really neat, but like, maybe let's put something new up there instead. And it sounds like that's kind of what we're doing.
Kind of, sort of.
Kinda.
I mean, there's something to be said about doing co-observations with whatever instruments you have available to you at that time. So just because Webb is a significant leap forward compared to Hubble doesn't mean that they both aren't working in conjunction. They'll observe things at the same time together, and then you take that data and you compare it, and you get an even richer understanding of what you're looking at. So just because Hubble is I don't want to call it old, but yeah, it's old. Hubble's been on orbit for almost as long as I've been alive. So I mean, just to
I
show
remember when it was launched.
the productivity of it, almost 26 years in space now. It's just been astounding at what we've been able to learn from it.
Hey, Dada.
Yeah.
We got old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Don't let
Do you
these
want to make it
youngins
even
know
worse?
it. Oh, no, Ryan, don't say it. No, don't say it, Ryan. Please don't say it. You're going to, oh, God.
I was born like 6 years after Hubble launched, so.
Not great, Ryan. Not great.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't help.
You're welcome.
I think my point, Ryan, or not Ryan, the other Ryan, Jared. I think my point, and Dada, was that, yeah, Hubble's still in use, but what if we just start launching brand new, epic new telescopes, right? Let's kind of change topics for a moment. Relativity, right? The CEO of Relativity.
Wait, Aravel says we did a whole unit on Hubble in the 4th grade. Was one of the things that got me into space.
Yeah, some iconic pictures came from Hubble. Yeah.
So iconic.
End statement. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Ryan, that's why we have you here. He doesn't say a lot, but what he does keeps me in check.
So iconic, you can't name any of them.
Yep. Well, all right, hang on. The Horseshoe Nebula, that was one of them, right? That was a famous picture that came.
Horsehead,
whatever.
But I think
don't make me look even worse in front of Ryan.
Look, the absolute king of the images.
I couldn't if I tried.
Wait. Let me guess. You're gonna say Pillars of Creation.
Yeah. It just is. Look, in the early '90s when that came out, that just blew everybody away. I mean, even today, the original image it's not as good as the ones Hubble has taken since. It's the instrumentation isn't as good as it was today. But even then, just the fact of what we were able to see was just mind blowing to everybody to see that image. So if you don't know which image we're talking about, you got to look at it. And then Samurai,
can you pull that up, John?
Samurai in the chat is saying the Hubble Deep Field as well. I mean, the story behind that is absolutely astounding because that was such a huge risk. Nobody knew if that was even going to have anything in it. So the discretionary time to basically say, this is an empty spot in the sky. We're just going to point all at it and take in as much data as we can for 10 whole days, and we'll see what's there. There were people that were like, you absolute idiots. You're wasting time by doing that. Like, there's nothing there. What are you looking for? So, and then it turns out it was one of the richest images we had at that time. So, and the subsequent deep fields we've done since then. Yeah, there it is, the classic, the OG pillars of creation of the Eagle Nebula. So
it actually looks like CGI.
Yeah, it really
does.
Right?
I can't fathom how to create that in CGI, especially when it was made.
John, can you pull up Deep Field while we've got you working on stuff?
Yeah.
This is super handy, by the way, having a producer who can just call up images and, like, as we're talking, just share a screen. Like, all of the stuff that you've seen on screen, that's all been John working in the background. So and he's been doing that for a long time, and I don't think we give him enough credit. We give him crap all the time, but no credit. Kind of like Ryan, we give him crap all the time, but no credit.
It's like having Jarvis.
All right, so without like creating too much awkward silence, here we go. So that is a cool picture, and it's cool because look at all of the different galaxies in there, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in the black is another universe too. John just said in our ear, every dot is a galaxy,
and it's and their colors tell you, a thesaurus, or a whole encyclopedia worth of data about each of those dots.
Yeah, it tells you their alignment. So like the white ones are chaotic good. The yellow ones are
no, go on. All
right, yellow ones are chaotic neutral. The black ones are chaotic evil, but
there's a purple one in there somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be a fun game, right? Roll initiative. Oh, hang on. I come prepared. Right there. Oh, wait. It's got to be in focus. Wait, do I have my dice anywhere around here? Oh, wait. Here we go. I got my dice.
Where are they?
Right there. Maybe in After Dark. Here's my dice. Maybe in After Dark we will we'll each take a galaxy and roll initiative and fight the galaxies.
Okay.
Oh wait, I've got another. Hang on. I actually have I just got this.
And we're off the rails.
I got this one too. Yep. Oh, come on, we're always after. Welcome to 2026. Yeah.
What rails?
Cool. All right. Getting us back on said rails. You guys love it. Come on, you're all nerds too.
Yeah.
We all nerd together. We nerd the same way. Let's talk about let's talk about SpaceX, shall we? I don't know how much I can say. I don't have to necessarily turn my camera off anymore, but like, I feel like 2026 might be the year of Starship, right? Like not that Starship hasn't seen success, because I think it has, in my opinion, right? Like, it's still an experimental vehicle. Do you guys think 2026 is the year that it exits being an experimental vehicle and starts probably let's be clear, the end of 2026? But do you think this is the year where it exits its experimental state and becomes an operational vehicle? Is Starship V3 the operational variant of Starship? Ryan, we'll start with you.
I hope so, but I feel like everybody's been a little bit stung by how Starship V2 went. Because, all of the problems with the first version of Starship, Elon's like, don't worry about it. V2 will fix everything. V2 is going to be great. And then V2 fails, 3-4 times on the bounce. And then we're like, don't worry about V2. V3 will fix everything. And I was like, I've heard this story before, right? So I really want V3 to become the operational, let's throw millions of Starlinks into space. And I think, they've been doing so much testing on the ship, on the booster, with so many test tanks, and they're clearly taking their time, right? Because if they wanted to rush this, they probably already have a vehicle out on the pad, but they're not. They're taking their time, and it feels like they're just being more methodical than they have been before with the previous versions. And that for me instills confidence. Maybe there's also a bit of hope in there, but I really think they need to get V3 doing what Starship was designed to do, because if not, then there might be some problems. But yeah.
I mean, don't you feel like, so once they start flying V3, I think we can expect there will be lessons to be learned, which is a nice way of saying RUD, right? Like, I think we can expect V3 to RUD a couple of
Brand new
times.
pad, brand new vehicle, you know.
There's so much that can and will go wrong, right? Like, this is just, there are two mentalities in, frankly, designing anything, not just aerospace. There are two mentalities. One is you design it on paper and you take forever and you run the analysis, and then you just do, you know, computational model after model after model after model after model. You perfect it on paper and then you go build it. And that takes a lot of time, arguably more time than the second method, which is YOLO, let's just build something and see what happens, right? SpaceX takes the YOLO method. Blue Origin takes the computational method. Neither method is right or wrong. They're just different ways of approaching the same thing. Ryan, were you gonna?
No, I was
No.
just yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to correct me on something, which,
No.
you know, par for the course. So my point being, you know, there's still going to be a little bit of YOLO. Let's get V3 up, right? Because that's the SpaceX mentality. They're not going to, like, it's not that there's no computational models, right? But like, they're just like, I don't know, this might work, this might not work. Let's see what happens. And they're not afraid to try it in hardware. They're hardware rich engineering, not computational or software rich engineering. I mean, you get what I'm saying.
SpaceX's progress is what you get when there are no consequences for failure.
Yes, and actually that's something that I always loved about SpaceX is it's not that there are no consequences for failure. You may not fail the same way twice. You have to learn from your failure. Not learning from your failure, that's bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. But like, you know, you learn by failing. So you learn by succeeding too. I think it's unfair to say that you don't learn from success. You learn from both. And so do we not think that we're going to see additional failures of V3 right out of the gate? But okay, this was a very long-winded. I'm so sorry for taking so much time to get to my point. My point is they're doing hardware-rich engineering. V3 is no different. We've historically seen Ryan, it was 3 flights of V2 before we saw success. Is that correct? Or was it 2 flights of V2?
Well, it depends how you want to define success, because the first 2 flights didn't get to second engine cutoff, or rather the engines cut off early. And then the third flight got a little bit, it got to SECO, but then it like lost all attitude control and then burned up or whatever. And then the 4th flight, they managed to kind of get through, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, let's call the 4th flight where they got to success. So it took them 3 flights to get there. Version 1 was similar, right? Didn't it take like 3 flights to actually get, or like 3? Like, it seems like 3 is the magic number is what I'm getting at. So I feel like just reading history, you're going to need 3 flights of version 3, and you're going to start to see success on flight 4. And then you're going to start, but unlike version 1 and 2, which were kind of like things that led to version 3, version 3 is kind of like, okay, this is the baked version. This is like, this is kind of the size is everything. Like,
it's never baked.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But it's the one where it's like the core is kind of finally done, right? Like the 80% of it's kind of done. And you're not wrong. It's never done. It's not, even Falcon 9 is never done, right? Like there's still tweaks to it to this day, right? But the core of it should hopefully be kind of done for a hot minute. And if that's the case, you know, do you think we'll start seeing success long-winded after the 3rd flight of V3?
That's a great question.
I spent all that time to get to that point. And his answer was, that's a great question. Dutta, what do you think?
Elon Lift says, "Oh, it's only baked when you put people on board," and I'm going to say that even that's not true. I would wager a guess that less than 5% of the part numbers that go up on each flight are at Rev C or less.
Say that again. I didn't track. I'm sorry.
The part numbers that you put together to make a rocket, when they call it good, I would wager that most of them are beyond Rev C. They've had more than 3 changes.
Maybe. One other. Let me do another long-winded thing. I've been able to talk about SpaceX for a long time, so I'm going to use every opportunity now.
Get it out while you can.
Not that we can stop you.
Yeah, just let it out. This is your therapy today. Just let it out, Jamie.
Not all of it, but like, yeah, anyhow. One other note is, for V1 and V2, there wasn't Star Factory. For a majority of V2, it was like Star Factory was still being built. And so you just didn't have a production machine to build the rockets. All of V1 was built in tents, right? And so as we look at V3, Star Factory is there. You've got this production machine and like indoor, positive pressure building designed to build rockets, which they did not have before. So I think we're potentially going to see them speed up simply because they actually have the machine to build the machine now. And even if they need to make tweaks, the infrastructure necessary to do these things is at least in place. Now that infrastructure is not done. They're building Gigabay, and Gigabay is not going to be done until, but like they've got most of it there, So I don't know. I'm hopeful for V3. Jared, how about you?
Are you saying that they can't build good cars in a tent in San Pedro?
I would, for legal reasons, I would never say that.
So V3 to me is I think it's going to actually have success a little bit quicker than V1 and V2 did, just because of the quality of the build and other things like that has gone up since they had issues last year. I think there's been hopefully some sort of putting QA under the microscope and things like that, and making sure that the right people are in the right places, because it kind of seemed like things were a bit off during last year. But it also seems like that mojo is back after the flights in the second half of the year. So we'll see. I'm trying to be optimistic about it, because I could tell you, at least working with the public to discuss these things, the public does not have the same view of these things as we do in the industry. In the industry, we
What's the
understand
public's
the idea.
view?
So the public's view is that when your rocket blows up, you idiot. So that's and we know. So we are all industry folks. We understand the concept of flight testing, and we understand that flight testing takes time. This is not something you speed up. This is something that unfortunately at times does happen incrementally in terms of your progress. There are times where your progress goes backwards as well. And that's just the nature of the way testing works. And it is the to me, it's like the 1960s. We're launching the rockets to get the data in flight as opposed to on the ground on paper, like you were mentioning. But it feels like the public's appetite for destruction nowadays is certainly not anywhere near what it was in the 1960s, because the motivations are different at that moment. So for much of the public, there is very much there they go again, blowing up their rockets. Like, that's just, what a group of smart cookies we got flying over there, huh? So hopefully with V3, some of those hurdles can be overcome faster, but also at the same time, if they can't be overcome faster, I don't want them to be overcome faster. I want them to get it right. So it's better to get it right than it is to fly in the wrong, knowing that you're wrong and hoping that bad thing doesn't happen. So to me, there's a very fine line, at least on my end, as someone who interacts with the public and discussing these things with the public, as to the perceptions of what can happen. But at the same time, we try to inform the public that, hey, this is testing. Testing is not a straight line to success. It's all over the place. So, so thinking about that, also thinking back about V1 and V2 and everything that's happened since, I do think that maybe I would say second flight probably going to look pretty good. Maybe not 100%, but maybe like 80%. And then
Mm.
third flight, I think it'll finally be like right where it needs to
Oh.
be at.
You
So
you think they're going to shave a flight off?
yeah, I think they're going to shave a flight off. I think there's a lot of hopefully
I
there's
can
a
get
lot of
behind that.
complex. Hopefully there's a lot of things that are less complex, because that's the whole idea, is to make the vehicle simpler, right? So maybe in simplicity that should help, right? Truly the best rule of aerospace is, keep it simple, stupid. So
I think,
we'll have to
I'm
see.
on board with that. I think you might be right. I actually think I'm going to go a little more aggressive. I think they might shave 2 flights off.
Yeah,
I
I
think
would
the first one's going to be a problem. It's like too much
please.
new stuff on the first one, right? Like the first one is new stage 0, new launch time, like all of it. It's
Yeah.
all new.
But
It's
also
all new.
at the same time, we could be surprised. Nobody expected a catch on flight 5, like that.
Hey,
That was
Falcon 9,
totally
Falcon 9
unexpected,
Flight 1.
so.
Falcon 9 Flight 1. The big thing was it did it rolled on
Woo!
liftoff. Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
whoa. But like it made it, right? Like it was successful. So you're right. Maybe V3 is the one. There are a lot of lessons that are pulled forward from V1 and V2 into V3. So maybe the big critical lessons have been learned. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like there are potential. I'm sure there are new lessons to be learned on V3.
Oh,
Daddy, did we get to you?
100%.
There's
Has
always
to be.
new lessons to be learned.
That's
Yeah.
true. No matter
That
how many
never
flights there
stops.
are. Look at airplanes, right? Like, planes that have been flying for 30 years, they'll still find new things that they're learning. Like you never stop learning about your vehicles.
You never want to hear a maintenance technician say, "Huh, never seen that before."
Yeah, pretty much.
One thing you brought up, Jared, is the public isn't used to hardware-rich development, and I would say it's not just the public; it's industry professionals as well. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that don't understand it, because there's a lot of companies that haven't had the luxury of $infinite to be able to use as their development piggy bank. Going back to what I said earlier, is there's always been dire consequences to failure. Like you can only launch this rocket because a customer's paying for it, and if a customer's only going to pay for it if you launch it. So when you don't actually launch it, the customer doesn't pay, and you got mouths that go hungry because they didn't get their paycheck. And so the consequences of the risk of failure has to be mitigated enough to make that gamble worthwhile. And SpaceX lives behind a luxury in a luxury bubble in which that's not the case. Yeah, Jamie, you're not supposed to fail the same way twice. There may be arguments to be said that we've seen some similar failures, but maybe different root causes.
Oh, I didn't say they didn't fail the same way twice. I said they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. But and I take your point, and I agree. But again, there's very low consequence, and this is there's no people on board there. I understand that, and that's acceptable. So you get to the audacious leaps and bounds by being willing to take bigger risks. And I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
that's
you're
what
not going to
that's
advance if you. Yeah, you can't advance if you're not willing to take risks, right? Like if you always play it safe, well, you're just not going to move
well,
forward.
like the Mercury, the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo missions were each of those missions built on the previous, where they had incremental steps. So first you go up and then down. Now you try orbit. Now you try rendezvous. Now you do this. Now you do that. And each one you're learning on the lessons that you built on the previous one. And if you learned the lesson for the next mission in the current mission, then you can skip and truncate that one. So yeah, to your point, maybe they could, skip a launch because they learned what the goal of that mission was. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm hopeful that they'll figure their stuff out. It seems like they always do, but they're not constrained by, we have to make everything work by flight 5 in order to be able to survive as a company. They will continue to evolve and change even after they've got everything figured out, and then they'll add something else to the cake to be able to make it what it needs to be.
Yeah, fundamentally agree. Let's move on to New Glenn and Blue Origin, right? Like, man, their 2025 was pretty freaking fantastic, right? Like, I did not expect in a million years landing on the second attempt. I mean, that goes towards, paper-rich engineering. That's the advantage of paper-rich engineering, right? They did all of this analysis, all of these studies, a whole bunch of stuff in advance. And so when things start to hit, they potentially hit a lot faster. It feels like it takes a lot longer to get there. But once they get there, look at that. Like, how incredible. Wow. It's so cool. And that rocket is massive, right? Like that thing is freaking huge. So how awesome. So what do we think their 2025 looks like? Or 2025. We know what their 2025 looks like.
I think their 2025 looks great.
Thanks, Ryan. I knew you were going to get me on that one. What about their 2026? What do we think their 2026 is going to look like? Dada, why don't we start with you?
This is what happens when you line all your ducks up before you start actually launching rockets. There's a the school of thought that Blue Origin obviously follows is do all of your research, do all of your testing kind of in a controlled environment, and then start executing your missions. And when you do your homework and you know what you're talking about and you can show it because your mission is flawless, the next ones are just those little bits of incremental progress that you need to be able to perfect it. I have high hopes for them, and I wish them well, and I think they'll do great things. We are all frustrated by their lack of progress over the years, but like then all of a sudden you get this, and I think that's pretty awesome to watch. I wish we could see more. I hope we can see more, but like I think they'll do good this year.
You think they'll hit like a cadence of 1 a month on average? So like 12 launches this year?
They have to have a reason for that. Like do you have customers for that? Do you have missions to support that?
I thought they did.
I'm sure they've got somebody in, a whole department of people that are working to get missions lined up and all that. But yeah, it's going to be based on missions. It would be a nice problem to have, to be waiting for a customer's payload.
Yeah, certainly. Ryan, what do you think? New Glenn, Blue Origin in general. It's not just New Glenn, right? They've got a whole. That's the other thing with Blue Origin is we forget that they've got like a billion projects they're working on, right? They've got Blue Moon, they've got New Glenn, New Armstrong somewhere. I feel like New Glenn kind of took the spot of New Armstrong. Personally, like it's like what 2/3 of what New Armstrong was supposed to be, or something like that. Like,
what do you think? They've accidentally made New Glenn so good that New Armstrong is obsolete.
Yeah, it's kind of like Falcon Heavy versus Falcon 9 Block 5, right? Like Falcon Heavy, the one that never flew, the original design, versus like Falcon 9 Block 5 was like, oh, well, we don't need heavy. And it's like, all right, well, what if Falcon 9 Heavy Block 5 or Falcon 9 Block 5 was turned into heavy? Anyhow, sorry. Your thoughts? God, look at that.
It's
so cool looking too. It just looks cool. It really is.
Yeah. And this was like middle of November, and their first flight was middle of January. So let's say 10-ish months between the first flight and the second flight. Yeah, if they could half like the time between launches every single time, like think 5 months, that would be March, and then half that again, 2.5 months. middle of May, beginning of June, then maybe if they could hit like a monthly cadence or something. And if they can prove that that booster landing wasn't a fluke and it's a repeatable process and they can actually refly vehicles, I personally think New Glenn has a good chance of hitting that monthly cadence. I don't think 12, I think 12 launches is a bit of a stretch, but I think by the middle of the year, they'll have a good shot at having maybe that bi-monthly cadence at launching these things, because they've got Blue Moon, they've got Kuiper, Amazon Leo, brilliant new name that everyone loves. They've got other commercial customers as well. So, you know, there's things they can launch, right? And that's exciting. Again, there's more things to Blue Origin than New Glenn. The Blue Moon lander, hopefully they can launch that in the first part of this year, and fingers crossed they stick the landing, because if they do that like Firefly did, that would be incredible, because it's a whole different scale. Like compared to Firefly's lander, Blue Moon is huge. It's like it's incomparable in size to the Apollo lunar module, right? And being able to do that autonomously would just be incredible. That's so exciting. And they've hired Tori Bruno, right? So I personally think that is a signal of the direction of where Blue wants to go in terms of public communication, because over 2025 we've kind of seen them. It started in 2024, but especially when Dave Limp came in as CEO, I feel like Blue has become a much more public-facing company, as in they are sharing things. Blue officials are sharing pictures and sharing data and sharing information on social media in a way they just didn't before, because before they were very hidden away. They didn't tell anyone anything. Starting in 2024 and really in 2025, I mean, Jeff Bezos couldn't contain himself in the number of photos he was sharing after they landed that booster, right? He was sharing a new photo, it felt like every 2 hours. It was wonderful to see.
Come on. Wouldn't
But
you?
everybody
Yeah,
would, and rightly so.
yeah.
I'm not criticizing him. I think it's wonderful, and I want them to do more of that. And I think bringing Tori Bruno on is a sign that they want to push more in that direction, because name somebody in aerospace who is more open and more accessible on social media than Tori Bruno. There isn't one, right?
No.
He was the chief of, for a period of time, the biggest launch company in the United States, and literally anybody around the world could contact him on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
That's unprecedented. No one else does that. So I think that's a really positive step for Blue Origin.
I hope so. I think they still, I understand, like, I don't necessarily disagree with their engineering. I am super glad that they're starting to see some success. Where I fundamentally disagree is they take a very old school way of communicating. They use like old school broadcast, and I don't think they realize that old school broadcast is effectively dying and dead. And they just have not caught up. I saw that and I was like, oh, I know that problem. Someone needs a buoy. Anyhow, yeah, hopefully 2026 Blue Origin, in addition to launching a lot more, they will start to realize that, oh, hey, old school broadcast doesn't matter anymore. We need to move into new broadcast and move to the podcasters, use the Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronauts, do more of that. Work with NASA Spaceflight, work with the Launchpad Network, work with everyone to actually get out there and, get these user bases and get these people excited. And then even get outside of aerospace, work with MKBHD. Right? Like MKBHD is going to decimate any broadcaster with regards to viewership, right? And that's just one example of a YouTuber. You could just find those YouTubers and find those people out there that are outside of aerospace, but still have an audience base that would be interested in this stuff. And I think you've got something that's really, really great. But they're like, all right, whatever NBC is going to air. It's like, no one watches that stuff anymore, guys. Like, what are you doing? You're targeting the wrong. This is a great technique 15 years ago. Catch up. Sorry. All right. That's my thing.
Get off my
Jared,
lawn.
Get off my lawn. Jared, what are your thoughts on Blue?
My thoughts this year for the exciting thing I'd like to see out of Blue Origin are two things specifically. The Blue Moon Pathfinder mission that they're doing. That's what I'm super excited about. I mean, this thing is twice the height of the Apollo lunar module and 3 times the mass. and this is the uncrewed version. So like that, it's just cargo to deliver instrumentation to the surface of the moon. So like, holy smokes, this thing is gigantic. I think this will be the biggest lander by far, by a wide margin, to attempt to land on the surface of the moon. And there's a lot of technology being demonstrated with it, like their BE-7 engine. They're wanting to do tests on the way down during landing to see how lunar regolith interacts with the vehicle as it's landing, so then they can continue to develop things that they could take a beating on its way down. It's just really exciting to be able to see this happening. And I'm
Man,
also,
it is massive. Look at
it's
that thing.
huge. That's the crude version, by the way, but also the cargo version is just about the same size. So like, it's a big
I will say there is one advantage over Starship. Look how close to the ground that door is.
yeah. Just
Right.
a little
Scroll
bit.
back up for me, John. Scroll back up. Like, look, see the ramp? Like, now imagine a Starship landing and that it's all at the top. Anyhow, sorry, keep going, Jared.
I've always enjoyed a 120-foot tall elevator.
Just like a rope, a knotted rope. You're just like
going down.
propelling down the side of the rocket. Yeah.
747s
Rappelling.
have an escape hatch on the top of the cockpit for the two pilots on the basically on the third floor of the plane, and I would never want to use it, and that's how you get into Starship.
That's putting an escape hatch on top of a 747. That's optimism if I've ever seen it in design. So that's for sure. But also, the second thing I'm super excited about with Blue Origin is hopefully this year we'll be hearing about development of the New Glenn 9x4, so the uprated New Glenn that they're developing. So I hope that we get updates throughout the year about it, because they're wanting to have it, possibly flying by next year. So like, I would do backflips if we find out about, sticking 9 of those BE-4 engines there all together, and just seeing what they could make of that, and then the four upper stage engines as well, and just holy smokes, like full send. Let's hear about it. Let's see it. Let's do some more.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Blue in 20. I think 2026 is, going to be Blue's year, right? Like,
yeah,
actually, maybe not that 2025 was bad. Like 2025 is the moment when I was like, oh, Blue is going to do something. I'd actually written them off. I was like, they're not going to do anything. They're going to sit here and they're going to. What? No, you hadn't written them off?
No, never.
I had. I was like, they're just going to keep dorking around and doing this on paper, and they're going to do the little puddle jumper, jumping up and down, and like they're not going to. And I completely changed my tune in 2025, end of 2025, right? That was when I was like, oh, they are serious. They are going to actually put things into space. They can be a real contender. That was for me. So I think 2026 is, I don't know, I think it's going to be a great year for Blue. I'm very excited to see where they go.
Yeah.
All right. I think last topic is let's talk about like big changes at NASA. And we alluded to it earlier in the show. Jared Isaacman is actually confirmed. Well, that was a roundabout way to get a NASA administrator, wasn't it?
No,
he isn't,
was...
but he is. Yeah. Good times. But he is officially NASA administrator. And, the first thing... The first big thing is medical emergency on station. First emergency return to Earth in space station's history. I think in NASA's. Oh no. Well, no. First emergency medical return to Earth. Does Apollo 13 count?
I don't think Apollo 13 counts, because Apollo 13 came home because of the explosion,
but there was still a medical issue on board.
Yeah, but how much of the medical issue stemmed from the fact that there was a bang in the
medical
constipation and hypothermia is kind of a direct result of not having power as you go around the far side of the moon.
All right, that's fair. So we're not going to count all right, so cool. So first, this is NASA's first medical evacuation ever, right?
Yeah.
Medical in space, like in space evacuation ever. Yeah, Ryan, like what's going on?
So that's a great question because for legal reasons and how the law works and how it should works, we don't really know because, of course, medical problems and somebody's medical history is private information that we don't have any right to have access to. So the information we do know is that there was a medical incident on board the International Space Station concerning one crew member from SpaceX's Crew 11. But beyond that, we don't know what the medical incident was, and we don't know who the crew member is. So that's all the information we have on that particular incident. What we do know is that it's not an emergent situation, as the NASA doctor put it in that press conference there. So they are not having to bring them home as quickly as possible. It's not an emergency. They don't have to get them into a hospital ASAP. The situation is just to a degree where if whatever happened was left untreated or unchecked by ground medical professionals and at a hospital with a full suite of equipment ready to check on somebody, the problem could get worse. So NASA has made the decision to bring the crew home a few weeks earlier than they originally intended. They were going to come home probably at the end of February. Now they're coming home at the beginning of January. So they're losing a couple of months of their mission. But at the end of the day, you obviously want everybody to be happy and healthy, and this is the correct decision for them to make. They have decided in this situation. So it's going to be a completely normal return procedure. It's going to be a normal ISS handover ceremony. They're going to do a normal undock, normal deorbit, normal splashdown. So that part of it is normal. It's just happening, 6-ish weeks earlier than it was going to happen originally.
You said beginning of January. I think you meant middle of January. They're returning January 14th, I believe, is what's on the books right now, right?
Well, how long is January? January is 31 days. So technically the 14th is in the first half of January.
Or the middle of it.
It's kind of the start, because if you split it into start and end, then technically it's in the start of January.
No one would think January 14th is the beginning. All right, Zach, put up a poll on YouTube. Is January 14th the beginning of the month? Yes or no? Just yes or no, right? I think January 14th is the middle of the month. And by the way, this is going to go towards your 2026 score. I also realized that this show is a little bit weird because we really only had this one topic. So we'll do the trivia questions at the end. We are resetting the scores for 2026. So we're all starting with 0, including you, Ryan. You do not get infinity. And
oh no!
Actually, wait.
Whatever would I do?
Hang on. No, I have an idea. All right, Ryan.
Are you changing my
you're going
name
to
tag?
start.
You're
gonna, no. What do you want it to be changed to?
No, you were typing away. I thought you were changing my name tag.
No. I was doing. I was trying to do math that I couldn't do in my head. I think what we're gonna do. All right. Let's finish this up, and then I'll tell you.
It's 4.
It's 4.
4. Yes. 2 plus 2 is 4.
All right. Thanks. Oh, but I needed a calculator for that data. That's way too complicated for my brain. All right. I'll touch on what I think we're going to do for points and see what the community thinks. Hopefully, we've got that poll up. So that's what's happening in space. Just Ryan, what do you think of Jared? What are your thoughts on Jared as an administrator in 2026? Are you excited? Are there anything you're worried about? What are you thinking NASA looks like in 2026?
I am excited to have Jared in the administrator job because I think, well, first of all, he clearly knows what he's talking about. He's very knowledgeable in the industry, and he's very knowledgeable in the future of the industry, the commercial future, which is being built for however many years now. He has seen firsthand how the commercial industry works with human spaceflight. He's flown on Dragon twice, and he has been embedded within SpaceX teams. He has spoken to many company executives. For example, I believe he was at the launch of the first nuclear launch back in January. He was in attendance of. So he clearly knows his stuff, right? Which I think is wonderful to see, because without diving into it too far, some political appointees around the world aren't exactly, knowledgeable within the subject they are supposed to be targeting. But moving swiftly on from that, I think he is the right kind of person to lead NASA throughout the next few years. And I also think he's very good at kind of communicating what NASA should be doing. And I think that's going to be advantageous because he can communicate that to politicians and to the president. And I think if you read into some of the things that have been coming out over the last few weeks, I definitely think that the president is listening to what he has to say, because on the same day that he was confirmed as or sworn in as NASA administrator, there was an executive order that came out with a bunch of new space policy in there. And something that the US has been lacking in over the last few years is consistent, solid, good space policy. It's been changing every 5 minutes, and we've gone from shuttle to constellation. Wait, no, let's cancel. Let's do SLS, but then there's no Artemis program. Or let's do the Artemis program. What you really need is a clear, broad, set in stone vision, just clear bullet points. This is what NASA is going to be doing. And I think having Jared at the helm in combination with an administration who actually, trust what he has to say is a good combination.
He was hoping they continue moving forward with that too, right? Just because, all resets with the new president.
it can switch 180 just like that, right? We've already seen that once before. I hope that doesn't happen, but you can't rule it out, unfortunately.
I mean, there is a world where both Democrats and Republicans like Jared, and he stays on as NASA administrator. With just because administration changes doesn't mean the NASA you could bring on the same administrator. A lot of people liked not Bolden. NASA administrator, where I was like, oh, he's going to be terrible, and he wasn't. Who was it?
Bridenstine.
Oh, Bridenstine?
Bridenstine, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like myself included, really like Bridenstine. Not everything was perfect, but he chose not to continue on. But there was always a world where the president, Biden could have asked him to. Anyhow, Jared. I mean, since you were mentioning Jared, what are your thoughts on NASA in 2026?
So Jared's thoughts on Jared.
Jared's thoughts on Jared.
It's so
Jared.
First of all, it's so confusing hearing people talk about it, because it's just Anyways, secondly,
welcome to my world. There's a Senator Tim Scott.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, I think that he has already stepped up to the plate and has very clearly shown that he is going to be bringing the leadership that NASA's needed for quite some time. And the kind of leadership that hasn't been seen since Bridenstine was a part of the as NASA administrator. So we will see. I'm optimistic about him because he is a guy that knows his stuff. He's no fool about that. That's for sure. He's flown to space twice. So, and Bolden was not a bad administrator who had also flown to space. I think Richard Truly as well was an administrator who had flown to space in the 90s. And
hang on, there was a difference though.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But but you understand.
Bill Nelson flew to space.
Nelson flew to space. Well,
it's a great point you've got there, Jared.
Talk. Fair enough.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So that's the part of
You're
my
not
body.
Sorry. You're not sorry. That's your MO, Ryan. That's your MO.
Yeah. Just you could ask everybody about the concept of self-loading payload and other things like that. So, anyways, so we'll have to see. I'm certainly optimistic about it because, again, Isaacman is someone who knows what he's talking about, and I feel like honestly at the press conference that we all watched for the medical issue on the International Space Station, the ability for him to answer the questions, it seemed like with ease, was pretty evident. So it seems like, one, he's already very comfortable where he's at, and two, he's really kind of allowing everybody around him to also maintain their comfort as well. with the work that they're doing. So there's something to be said about being a supportive boss to everybody around you. And also, a lot of people at NASA that I talk to frequently are talking about the fact that he is taking the time to essentially get to know the family, and that's important as someone who runs a very big agency. And you don't see that all the time from the people running a very big agency. So I think we're going to see some good happen.
Carl says they're feeding NASA into the wood chipper, but you guys are all bought off. They were feeding NASA into the wood chipper. I think once Jared came on board, he was able to kind of help stop that. Like, we looked at NASA's proposed budget from the White House, and it was not great. And then Jared
No.
came on board, and it's back. It's not where it was. It's not where it was, but it is much closer. Like, it was. It's
Yeah.
off by less than $1 billion now. It was
Yeah,
off by.
before it was going to be, I think, 18.5 billion. So for
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
for context, the 2020 fiscal year 2025, it was just over $25 billion, the NASA budget. The Trump administration,
Mhm.
White House, originally wanted to slash that to 18.6, I believe, $18.6 billion for fiscal year 2026. However, thanks to the work of politicians in Congress, they've managed to push that back up. They've said, nah, and they've got it to, I think it's 24.5 roughly billion. So they've lost about $1 billion.
Yeah.
Not great, but it could have been much worse.
Right.
To,
Yeah, I mean, the other.
quite literally half of all the scientific or like robotic missions and things like that would have ended immediately because of that. So
I mean, there are still notes of like, hey, he's questioning what all the NASA centers are doing, and like, do we need all of this stuff here? Or do all these things make sense? But I think that is a healthy thing to question from time to time. It doesn't mean
yes.
you have to shut them down. You can come back and be like, does this make sense? Yes, it does. We'll keep that. Or you can go, does this make sense? Well, no, we can actually roll this over here, and we can better use our funds for other things. This is a healthy thing to do. Just because a program exists today does not mean it should exist tomorrow, or does not mean that it should never change ever. That is always painful. People don't like change. That is always painful for people. But it is healthy. If you want to survive, you have to do that. Now, here's hoping that they don't say, does this program exist? Should we kill it? Like, questioning a program, and they go, yeah, let's kill it. And it was actually a very valuable program that we never should have killed. Time will tell on that one. Time will tell. But Jared doesn't feel like one that's actually going to do that. Not to say that he'll be perfect, but like, here's hoping.
Another thing to
Yeah.
do with funds, I don't know if John can bring it up, but I actually got a reply on X from the NASA administrator, and there's two things that there's two things that come to mind. One of them is the fact that he's bringing in his planes, which is excellent for PR, might I add, and he's going to be personally funding, flying those aircraft on behalf of NASA for things like, flights to try and convince people to join NASA, or just for general public engagements, or flying them around launches. I mean, like, how can you get any cooler than that? I think that's a fantastic thing to do, just to, better boost NASA's image in the public domain. Another thing is that he is personally funding, he visited Goddard the other day as the first stop of his tour of the NASA centers. And he actually personally funded all of the snacks and all of the food and drink for people to have, which I think is another wonderful thing to do. Right? It's just it instills that culture that people work better when you want to do, like, when you feel like you're adding to something that's cool and that's good, right? You want to help push, you want to help drive that thing. And I think by doing things like that, Jared Isaacman is helping to become a leader who people actively want to drive for, if that makes sense.
You'd also mentioned, just as an aside, you had mentioned earlier about how he understands commercial space. But let's not forget, we have commercial space today in large part because of Lori Garver, right? Like, so much of the space
Yeah.
industry, especially NASA, sits on the shoulders of the work that Lori Garver did. And if you're interested in seeing her, this coming weekend, I think, she will be at the Astro Awards put on by Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. So if you're interested in meeting some of the people who helped to create the industry for which we enjoy today, like the fruits of all that labor. And let's be clear, like she went through stuff to get this, like death threat, like it was crazy what she has gone through to get commercial space because like all of the existing aerospace just did not want this to happen. Like what an incredible human being. And that's just her. There's an incredible lineup at the Astro Awards. So if you're interested, just search search Google for the Astro Awards and grab a ticket and head on down there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be helping produce it. I get like, we're not doing anything, right? Like I get nothing for doing it, but I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to go help down there. I say produce it, but I'm going to be a gopher. I'll be taping cable to the floor. They're like, you want to help? I'm like, sure. They're like, all right, cool. You can be a stagehand. I'm like, all right, I'll be a stagehand. They didn't say that, but like, yeah, whatever. So yeah, anyhow, yeah, there you go. Those are the Astro Awards. Highly, like, I would love to see you guys there. So like I said, I'll actually be behind the scenes being a theater rat, probably dressed in all black. But like, if you see the pink hair, come say hi. I'd love to say hi. Like let's nerd out over space together. I hope to see you guys there. So grab a ticket, go to the Astro Awards. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Why do their counters count? Why do their counters count down and their dials count up?
Oh man, now I can't unsee that.
Ah.
That is not great. That is not great. Well, or they're filling up with excitement.
Get that changed.
They're filling.
There you go.
They're filling. They're filling up.
Get your stagehand to get that changed.
Cool.
I
think you're the last one.
Thus far, I like. I'm seeing signs that Jared Isaacman may be good for NASA. I like that he's pumping the brakes on moving Disco to Houston. Some logic and some sense put in that process, I think is a good thing. Like you said, the discomfort with change, but the necessary cleaning out the closet is, as it were. I hope he's respectful of history in that respect, and I hope that there are ways that some of that, the taste and the flavor of the legs that we're standing on can be preserved or recorded sufficient for future generations to keep learning those lessons without having to relearn them. He's got a big hill to climb, but it seems like he is sufficiently qualified to be able to make that happen, so long as he has support and the North Star remains the same.
Here's hoping. All right, yep. I'm excited for 2026. I hope you guys are too. I think we're going to wrap the show here, but before we do, what I'd like to do is we still have our trivia questions. Now, I was going to say what we're going to do instead of giving Ryan infinite points is we'll give him 50 points, and then his pool gets taken away from when he does stupid questions, and our pools get added to when we answer his questions correctly. But instead of 50 points, now I'm thinking maybe we give him 24 points because that's theoretically our maximum score. Oh no, that's not right. That's not right because we don't do one show a month. How many shows are there in a month? Or there are 52 weeks in a year.
We do a show every week, and there's 52 weeks in a year.
No,
what maths are you trying to do?
It's not fair to say we do 52 shows a week because we do have off weeks.
We definitely don't do 52 shows a week. Jesus Christ, that goes on.
Our record, I think, is 48.
Sure, but there's a theoretical maximum of 52 shows in a year and 2 questions per show, which means there's 104 total theoretical points, right?
If Ryan gets any points less than 14, he's starting at the beginning.
I think we give Ryan a starting score of 104. And then we do the polls. We'll go in and be like, hey, chat room, do you agree? Are we taking a point away from Ryan? And then we'll see who ends up with the highest score at the end of the year. What do we think? We think Ryan starts with 104? Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
All right. They say, yes, I like this idea. All right, 104, which is the theoretical maximum, which gives Ryan an edge because there's no way it's technically impossible for us to do 52 shows this week because we are starting on January 11th. right? This is already not even. This is already not even possible. So like 104 points goes to Ryan. All
yeah,
right.
but if in honor of this show right now, if he drops below 14, he's at 0.
If he drops below 14, he's at 0. I mean, yeah, if he drops below 14, well, no, if he drops below 14, endless mocking, right? But the other nice thing,
0,
well,
and 0.
the other thing is like, you know that we're not fair. And so there's going to be a time where I'm going to be like, remove 50 points. This we'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. On that note, John and Ryan, let's get started with the first trivia question. And we're going to do these back to back. Oh, John has results for the January question, and I forgot the January. January. Is January 14th the beginning of January? Yes or no?
This doesn't
and the
count.
answer
You're not taking any points away, okay?
69%. 2/3 of people do not. And by the way, 2/3 of you are correct. The 30, however many people, stop sucking up to Ryan. He can't get you anything. You know you're wrong. All right, let's go. You're right. I will let that one pass because we just did the point system after that. All right, let's. By the way, this year
there's the beginning of the month. There's the 15th. And then there's the end of the month.
I agree.
No. All right.
Do you want to win some points or not?
The first, also, I love that the first question from Ryan breaks our graphic because he did a 2-question.
All right. True or false?
Take it away. Hang on. We need to move Ryan to the top. Let's get him.
You need to make me important.
Oh, I don't think I have. Need to make me important. I can't move.
If you're relying on somebody else to do that, you're already not.
All right. Let's go. Let's get this going. Okay. Ryan, take it away.
True or false? Has the crawler transporter for Artemis 2 been rolled into the vehicle assembly building yet? Is it A, true, B, false, C, .. or D, ..
And I said John should have put like. Okay. That is very loud. Where's the? Hang on. Let's go over here.
Oh goodness.
Sorry, we're fighting each other for volume. There we go. I blew out everyone's eardrums. Sorry about that. I said John should have put like fake answers on C or D. That didn't make any sense. Like C is dragon and D is unicorn or something like that. But you know, whatever.
Yes, and maybe.
True. A is true. B is false. C is yes, and D is no. All right. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is as of January 11th at 2:33 Eastern.
Correct. What do you say, Jamie?
Is the crawler transporter actually in the VAB? And by that, you mean fully inside the VAB. I'm going to say B, false. I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay. Jared?
I'm going to go with true because we got rollout happening this week, right? So.
Dutta?
I would say true.
And I will slowly pause as we await the chat.
Oh, man.
Answer. Chat has gone for true. And I think that means decisively that true is the correct answer. And Jamie has got the first question of the year completely and utterly, wholeheartedly incorrect.
You're enjoying that, aren't you, Ryan?
Very
well, at
much.
least you know I'm not cheating. The really horrible thing is, has the crawl? Oh, you said for Artemis 2.
Yeah. You're trying to pick apart my question
You did
already.
very specifically. I was going to try to rip your question apart.
I worded that question extremely specifically. You cannot pull that question apart. Don't even bother trying to pull that question apart because it's not going to go very well for you.
All right, and again, the scores are resetting this year. And this year we are not playing even if Jamie gets a question right, Jamie gets no points game that we played in 2025, which while fun, I think you guys figured it out by like show 3. All right, next question.
This is an actual multiple choice question, so no true or false. Actually has 4 answers. Tomorrow, India's PSLV will return to flight. But what stage caused the previous mission to fail? Was it the first stage, the second stage, the third stage, or the fourth stage?
I think I know the answer to this. By the way, PSLV is the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Is that right?
Yes.
Polar Space. No, Satellite Launch Vehicle, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I know the answer. I'm between two of them, so we'll see.
Okay.
Oh God, I hope I don't get this one wrong too. How embarrassing is it going to be if I start the year with 0 points?
I don't know. I'm glad I'm not starting the year with 0 points. I'm starting the year with 104 points, so that's great for me. But Jamie, who
It is
thinks she
great for
knows
you.
the answer, what is your answer?
I think it was the third stage, Charlie. C.
Okay. Jared, what stage do you think it was?
Based on the joke that I made after that, which I'm very sorry, all the Istro homies, for making a joke about the failure. It's going to be the third stage, C.
Oh,
Okay.
thank God.
Dasa, what do you think?
I remember this coming after Virgin Orbit's second stage failure and saying that second stages are hard. But
no.
they got that one correct. But they failed on the third stage.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. And I will again patiently await the answer of the chat room, which I will get in my ear momentarily. Chat room also said third stage, and
Oh my gosh.
nobody in 2026 is starting the year with 0 points because you all got it right. Well done.
Ah, thank God. I was really worried because it was second or third and I couldn't remember. And I'm like, pretty sure it wasn't the second stage. Oh my gosh. I cannot tell you how badly I did not want to start the year with 0 points. Like,
Jamie,
I actually
Jamie,
want to have a.
You saw this unfolding in front of you, like that shape in the hole girl, just like catastrophically falling apart, and the circle goes into the square.
I did, yes. And the circle goes in the circle hole. In the circle hole.
No, it's the circle. No.
Rectangle. It goes in the rectangle hole. All right. Now we have to wait awkwardly as John tallies up our totals and builds 104 points for Ryan, and what. And I don't think we can take points away from Ryan today. I feel like those questions were fair. They were good.
I think they're all going to be fair. Every question is fair. They're all fair.
I already know that that's not going to be true. 104 points for Ryan. 104.
And I think this is breaking news for a tomorrow first. Jamie is not in last place.
Oh yeah. This is also, we're starting 2026. I kind of am. I mean, let's be honest. Hang on now. Like, I'm in last place. Oh man. And I should have thought that through because Artemis rolls out like today, doesn't he? Doesn't it? Artemis rolls out like imminently.
I think it's the end of the week it rolls out.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
I will hang on.
It's next
I will tell you the date.
Oh, that's right.
Because
It's
I definitely haven't
next
forgotten the date.
100%
the date
right.
when
Mr.
it is
NASA
rolling
space
out.
flight here.
It is the 17th, which is the end of January.
To the end of God. Take a point away. I'm just kidding. All right. That is our show, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We're certainly late for our After Dark episode. What did we say we were going to talk about? I know in pre-show we said we were going to talk about watches. We're going to nerd out about watches. I want to play a game of universe where we're each going to get a universe and then we roll our dice. We'll roll initiative. We're each an individual universe and we battle each other. I don't know the game mechanics of this yet, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out.
What dice do I
After
use?
Dark.
I have so many.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't have actual physical dice, there's online systems that you can use to roll dice as well. That might actually be a fun game. Figuring out like how to be a universe and battling other universes. What else are
I
we
think
talking about in
Jared
After
might have
Dark?
just spilt his dice everywhere.
Yeah, I just spilled a big cache of dice all over the floor, and I'm gonna have to.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What else were we going to talk about in After Dark? It was watches. It was Battle of the Universe, and then anything.
You said something
show-related?
like studio or something. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that's right. The studio. I'm thinking about a studio in Orlando. So let me just make notes to make sure that we remember to talk about all these things. It's the studio, the watches, and the universe battle royale. All right. On that note, thank you everyone so much for watching. I also want to thank the members of Tomorrow who helped to make all of these episodes happen. And as we're bringing up the names for all the members who contribute to the show week after week, year after year. Again, we've been doing this since 2008. And who donated 5 memberships? Dave Avery. Yeah, I mean, Dave is
Avery.
Davery. I'm trying to find the members. So here they are.
There it is.
We actually moved Dave over to the Escape Velocity tier. By the way, special thank you to members who have subscribed or resubscribed. Matto Titan, Kevin, Michael Reed, and I think that's Pluto, which I don't know
Hi, Pluto.
but it's an acronym for something because there's a period in between everything, but not the zero, not the O. Right, so there's a period, but there's no punctuation after the O, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Ground support members, but like, and the membership levels start at like $1 a month, and then they go out all the way up to crazy levels. Like there's like a $500 per month level or something just insane like that. And for the first time in a long time, we actually have a brand new Escape Velocity member. Welcome, Tiger. Thank you so much for joining at the Escape Velocity level. Super appreciate having you here. And remember, you get access to the Escape Velocity room on Discord. So if you don't have that for any reason, Jamie, JAMI @tmro.tv, shoot me a message. I'll make sure we get you in there because there's crazy shenanigans that happens in the Escape Velocity room, including access to After Dark. That is the show that'll be coming up here next in just a moment. We will be talking about all the things I mentioned earlier, the crazy watches, the Speedmaster Pros and whatnot. If you like, even if you're not a watch nerd, it'll be impressive. Like it'll be fun to look at Jared's collection and whatnot. Battle Royale of universes, and then like future stuff with regards to potentially a new studio for Tomorrow and trying to rebuild a space station set. Basically, I'm going to fly Dutta down here and make him build it out of MDF, even if there's a better way to do it. I only want MDF, and I only want MDF dust in the air. Those are the only allowed options. And he has to do it in 2 days. On that note, I'd like to thank everyone so much for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye.